New scarf, new me. But I think I should start with a smaller video. It may be a new me, but every version of me will always find time to talk about Cuphead in some capacity. An often overlooked aspect of my favorite video game of all time is the actual platforming stages in this 2D platformer. Sorry to say, but even I don't care about most of them. That said, they still hold some of the game's most difficult, albeit completely optional, sections, and have a unique challenge all their own in the form of P-ranks. If you're thinking of games like Pizza Tower or Ultra Kill upon hearing that, you're in for a sad reality check when I see that the P stands for Pacifist. This video will be ranking all 6 run-and-gun stages based on how easy or hard it is to get from point A to point B without killing any enemies. But I know it's not easy trying to see shades of grey, so this will also act as a guide to those brave or foolish enough to want to try it themselves. Also, small thing to note, using the Game Jimmy technique will not work since the rank caps at B+ when it's used. It's on! Let's actually change my signature catchphrase to something a bit more me. Showtime!
Oh, it's the easy one. It's the easy one.
Okay, to be fair to myself, I was talking about in single player where you don't have to babysit someone else.
Well, f*** you too, babe.
This is the only level on the list where I think it's not only feasible, but somewhat recommended to do this with no charms. Not only do I believe it's better for someone learning the movement fundamentals, but this trick where you phase through the mini-boss at the end is a bit tighter than it looks. I honestly thought it was because the smoke dash covered less ground than the default one, but testing that proved me wrong. Either way, I found that it's more consistent to get to the top right platform, full hop, and dash at the apex of your jump to finish the level. This may be the easiest one on the list, but it's by no means a walk in the park. The first section with the Woody Woodpecker knockoffs isn't too bad, it just requires you to be patient and make some split-second decisions about whether or not certain parries are worth going for. The middle section with the vertical platforming is the hardest part of this whole stage, since you have to deal with projectiles, bugs that follow you, and moving platforms. Once you get to the last third, all you need to do is platform like normal and skip the mini-boss in any way you choose. If any stage is going to be your first stop on your road to pacifism, it should be Treetop Trouble. While we're here, there are 3 main charms you'll be using in every stage: the Smoke Dash, Miss Chalice, and the Heart Ring. Since you're not killing enemies, your main concern will be having good evasion and being able to tank a lot of hits when needed. Though, you'll need to think about how the level complements your chosen strategy. Case in point... This is the first example of a Pacifist run having unavoidable damage if you don't have the right charm or a super ready at the right time. Unlike the last entry where it's completely possible to do this stage without anything equipped, Funfair Fever straight up requires the use of Smoke Dash and Super 2 to get through with a P rank. The moment you start the stage, your first priority should be getting all 5 parries needed to fill your super meter. The blues at the start and the cannonball shot during the dunk tank platforming sequence are the only parries that count toward that, so might as well get them in early. As for the rest of the stage, while it has Cuphead's branded challenge, it isn't anything too crazy. What is crazy is my stance that certain parts of the stage get made easier when going pacifist. Think about it. Some of the enemies actively punish you for killing them, like the previously mentioned balloons or the Mario Galaxy enthusiasts here. There's also the matter of the 2 mini-bosses present. I honestly thought you needed to take a forced hit from one and Super 2 past the other, but no. By complete accident, I ended up barely smoke dashing through the hot dog at the end of the stage while recording. I can't tell if it's really precise or what, but hey, if it works, it works. What doesn't work is Miss Chalice and the Heart Ring. You'd think Miss Chalice's air mobility and the dodge roll will make things easier, but then you get to the dunk tank and regret every life choice that led you to this moment. The Heart Ring makes it to where you can tank more hits, but you wouldn't need to if you could dash through the obstacles harmlessly. At least the music will always be really nice here. Out of every level on this list, Rugged Ridge was the most confusing for me to rank. This one has 2 sides to it, playing as Miss Chalice and playing as Cuphead or Mugman. Rugged Ridge as Miss Chalice is quite possibly the easiest level in the entire game, to the point where I genuinely think it was intended for lore reasons. Her unique moveset makes everything that gives Cuphead or Mugman any amount of trouble completely trivial. On the flip side, if you don't have the DLC or simply choose not to use her, this level becomes one of the most annoying in the entire game. Precise dashes, a forced hit at the very start unless you're either stupid lucky or stupid precise, infinitely respawning enemies, big enemies that produce wind, and the game's only auto-scroll sequence outside of the bosses. The best thing you can do is try to have as much health as possible, but both of the best options have their own pros and cons. The Heart Ring has the potential to give you 3 more hits than usual, but you're pretty much locked out of your stupor since you don't get EX cards from parries until your 3rd heal.
plus the stupid fact that the masks on the wall don't count for the super meter or heart ring. The twin heart only gives you 2 extra hits, but you get them right at the start and can still get cards, thus you're super as normal. Pick your poison wisely. Then there's the ending sequence with the Cyclops. It's a general case of paying attention and not getting too impatient unless you get blindsided by one of the rotating fireballs. This level just confuses me. It gets broken so easily by one character but becomes hell on earth as the others no matter how you go about it. Do yourself a favor, don't bother with this P rank until you get the DLC. The first intended run-and-gun of the game, and it cracked the top 3? The way I see it, while Rugged Ridge can be made trivial with one loadout, Forest Follies is consistently challenging no matter what you bring in. Even for how early this level is in the game, you're absolutely swarmed with enemies and projectiles at any given moment. You might want to get rid of the clutter, but that requires violence and these are pacifist runs. What did you think we've been talking about? With how fast the Cagney Juniors move and the fact that they jump over ledges, they'll quickly become the most annoying thing in the level. Thankfully, they disappear about halfway through the run, but that's where a possible roadblock makes itself known. Without Miss Chalice's double jump, the Acorn Maker is too high to jump over without a bit of help. Be it the small vertical boost from activating the invincibility, baiting a mushroom into firing a pink spore in that direction, or getting lucky with the pink butterflies since yes, you can parry them for no reward. The last section is probably the easiest, but also the most stressful because of the pit hoppers in tandem with the mini goopies. Forest Folly sits in the middle of the list. Still pretty annoying, but manageable, especially compared to the top 2. Since every charm available makes for consistent challenge across the board, it's entirely up to personal preference. Twin Heart or Heart Ring for extra health with the same pros and cons I mentioned before, Smoke Dash for better evasion, or Miss Chalice for the better air mobility and at least 1 extra hit give or take a use of Super 2. I take back nothing from the Cuphead video. F*** this level. You know how in the Howling Aces fight, you can change how you control when rotated in the final phase? Where the hell is that option here? It doesn't make too much of a difference, but you'd think they'd added in the update that gave us the DLC. This level is made annoying as sin to P rank for one simple reason. There are only 2 non-required parry objects in the whole stage, one of which is based entirely on RNG whether or not even shows up in a place that doesn't inconvenience you. The other main problem is that this level has too many bosses that show up in multiple spots, with the 2-mouthed wall requiring either extreme precision, the invincibility super, or sheer dumb luck to get past with both of you unscathed. This counts as unscathed. You didn't kill him. But you're the reason he's dead. Existential dread aside, the tubas can be trouble, but only because their attacks are huge and travel weird. The other main problem is that after the first third or so, you have to make sure you don't touch the floor or ceiling depending on what direction the gravity is. The other main problem is that Funhouse Frazzle is just not a fun level to play! Though I do like the detail that you can duck under the lead ducks at the very start. Even if this stage has less individual hazards than even some levels lower on the list, they're combined and placed in just the right ways to make this one of the most annoying experiences in the entire game. While it thankfully doesn't get worse than this, it definitely gets harder. And I get the fishy feeling that your sense of process of elimination just kicked in. This level was not made with pacifism in mind. While the peers thankfully start with the bit where you can grind parries for healing, your super, or both, you quickly realize that it's pretty much required. The amount of animated seafood you'll be dodging is ridiculous. Flying fish, sidestepping urchins, barnacles that act like the fire plants from Super Mario World, floating bubbled starfish, and the electrified embodiment of Livin' Like Larry. All of that, plus some pretty tight platforming and scarce opportunities to parry, already sounds like it'd be pretty difficult. But that's all before the single hardest section in any of the 6 run-and-gun stages. What the hell is this? Why the hell is this? Do you see this shit, Squidward's house? Riding a small platform, with clams shooting pearls at you from the back, shrimp flying into you from the front, rocks that you need to parry the octopus to get rid of before you sink, and the little fact of wind pushing you back when you jump. This one section is the sole reason why grinding parries at the beginning is not only necessary, but almost mandatory. It was even harder before the DLC brought in the Heart Ring and Miss Chalice, since you had a strict choice between more health or better evasion. It makes you wonder if there is another way. Is the self-imposed challenge worth whatever reward you get? Maybe, but given your limited resources, it can be excruciating. That said, there's a big secret I've been hiding throughout this whole video. Something that makes all 6 of these stages much, much more manageable. Something that I believe to be completely unviable before testing it for myself. The biggest issue across most of these stages is wanting to have the benefits of multiple charms at once. Wanting the smoke dash and still having those extra hits. The only charm that can do that is the Divine Relic, but that also uses the parry axe. Wouldn't that make parrying impossible without voiding the Pacifist run? Absolutely not! Turns out the game prioritizes the parry aspect of the charm over any damage done to the enemy, and in the case of the Funfair's balloons, voids the damage entirely. So long as you're mindful of where and when you parry, the Divine Relic becomes your golden ticket through any and every P rank in Cuphead. Yes, you'll still need to be on top of your game in terms of platforming and enemy dodging, but since you get the perks of healing with the parry ring, the smoke dash's evasion, the super meter charging automatically with the coffee, and still being able to use invincibility, the only obstacle left is mastering each level's layout. Extra health and the smoke dash for levels that damn near require both, like the Funhouse. And since you won't be firing your finger guns anyway, you do not have to worry about which random weapon you get. I said this before with Ragged Ridge, but it goes double now. Unless you really want to challenge yourself, wait until you get the DLC to P-rank these stages. I'm Alex S. Warrior, and I think I owe myself a much less taxing playthrough of a game about black and white. Then again, maybe it wouldn't hurt to try the P-ranks in a different animation-inspired indie 2D platformer. I hope this helped at all, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!